Welcome to React and Chrome DevTools. I am Rutvik Saudri. In this video, we'll have a brief introduction about React and Chrome DevTools. So, what are DevTools? Chrome DevTools is a set of web developer tools built directly into the Google Chrome browser. DevTools can help you edit pages on the fly and diagnose problems quickly, which ultimately helps you build better websites faster. So, this Chrome DevTools are basically there, and that makes a developer life easier. So this it's used for various applications. So first we have element. So in elements we'll learn about how you can inspect a node, search for a node, edit, delete, rearrange the DOM node, add a CSS class to the element, add a pseudo state, view an element box model, and search and filter CSS. So let's dive in. So here I have my application, my food tracking app, where you enter food and the quantity and you click on submit. So it will make an API call which will calculate the calories and it will display me the calories. So in order to open developer tools, you can right click and click on inspect, or you can press Ctrl Shift I simultaneously. So you have a cursor pointer here. So click on that. You can navigate through the HTML DOM. You can mute different elements. So if you on click of it, you can select a particular element and you can add an attribute to the element. You can delete an attribute, or you can edit HTML of the entire element, or you can delete the element, or you can hide element as well. On the right side, you can see the CSS of the corresponding element. So we can actually play around with the CSS and change the CSS of a particular element and see how it works. So here we have given width as 200 pixels. So let me change it to 50 pixels. As you can see, the size got smaller and we can increase margin. We can also introduce a new CSS attribute like height, which can vary. And so similarly, you have something called a pseudo state elements. So these states are these pseudo states are basically like a attribute of an element. For example, hover. So I have selected hover. Let me select this button and I'll select the hover state. So let me change this background color to black. As you can see, if you hover on this button, the color changes from black to purple. So basically, you can play around with the elements and CSS change and see what fits you right. And then you can go, instead of going back to your code and changing this, makes your life a bit easier as a developer. And at the bottom, you have something called box model. So what box model is basically a layout of an element. So you have margin, your border, your padding, and you have the dimension of the element. So the dimension of this element is 52 into 46. That is, the width is 52 and the height is 46. So Next, we have console. So in console, we'll be learning how we can view log messages and run basic JavaScript programs. So you have your console tab here, and you have messages, and you have errors, and you have warning, and all this stuff that can basically filter out. So I go to my code. So I have something called handle submit function. So I'll be writing a message at the end of this function that submit is called and it's successful, and I'll be printing a food name. So let's save this. So let me type my food as roti and the quantity that I've had is 3. Then click on submit. As you can see, the console message was printed, and even though and we are printing the food name that is roti, which was printed. So I can change this to uh, chapati quantity 1. So in this way we can view log messages, and also it acts as a playground for running basic JavaScript in JavaScript functions. For example, so basic example is A equals to 2, B equals to 3, and C equals to A plus B, that is 5. On like A equals to hello hashers and A dot split. So split is an inbuilt JavaScript function. So you specify the parameter, so it splits the string into two parts. So this is about console. So next we have sources. So source is basically used for debugging your JavaScript code that you have written in your application. So we can pause the code with a breakpoint and step through the code and check variable values, and also I'll teach you how to use the watcher. So let's see. So here you have source tab. So you click on Control P in order to search for the file where you need to add debugger. So mine would be food record container. So I'll be adding a few breakpoints in my use effect function, and I'll be adding few breakpoints in handle submit. So and also in handle delete. I'll refresh my application and I'll click on roti quantity 2. I'll click on submit. So it came into handle nutrition. So here you have a play or pause button where you can, so you basically your code is paused in the breakpoint. Now in order to resume execution you need to click on this, so it will jump to the next breakpoint. And on hovering on the value, hovering on the variables, you can see the values. This is a function, so food name is roti, food quantity is 2. This is a function. This is a dispatch action, and you can also go line by line. So as you can see this arrow mark, so this would take you to the next line. So if you forgot to add breakpoint and you have to navigate through the code, you can use this arrow. And then you have something called step into next function. So this is basically jumps through the function. This will step out of the current function. So basically, and as you can see, there's something called watch. So here watch, you can use it to observe the value of a variable closely. Example, food name. So here I click on T, I wrote T quantity 2